Avoid these 3 things that kills your prayer life.
Sarah, can you explain this mess? The client just called, and they're furious about the errors in this report. How could you let this happen?
Sir, I don't understand. I didn't handle this report, it was assigned to the logistics unit.
Don't shift the blame. I trusted you to oversee this project. If there's a problem, it's your responsibility to catch it before it reaches the client.
I understand, sir, but my role was to provide the initial data analysis. The logistics unit finalized and sent the report without informing me of their revisions. I wasn't aware of any changes.
This is unacceptable. I don't want excuses, Sarah. I expect you to take ownership. Fix this mess, and make sure it doesn't happen again.
I'll work with logistics to resolve the issue, sir, and ensure the client receives a corrected version immediately.
Do just that.
That wasn't fair. Everyone knows this wasn't your fault.
I'll sort it out. Sometimes, it's not about who's at fault, but making sure things get fixed. Thank you for your concern, it means a lot to me.
How are you holding up?
I am adjusting.
I am so sorry, I understand what your mum meant to you.
Thank you, Arthur. Friends like you are worth so much.
It's nothing, Sarah, you are a good person. God will help you in this moment of grief.
God. I feel like He is so far away. I can't even pray. A lot has changed since my mother passed on.
I get it, losing someone changes everything. But, Sarah, maybe you've been looking for an answer, not a connection. Prayer isn't just about results, it's about relationship.
Relationship. It feels one-sided. I talk, but all I get is silence.
Maybe the silence is an invitation, not a rejection. Try starting small. 5 minutes, just you and Him.
I hope it works.
How was your day?
Hectic. I was scolded by my boss today because of the logistic team, but I sorted it out. Maybe it wouldn't have happened, but since Mum passed on, I hardly pay attention to details that do not concern me directly.
I get distracted here and there too, it's not easy.
Mum's demise has had a toll on us.
It's like a coverage has been taken off our head.
And God feels so far away. She was everything to us.
God took her when we needed her the most.
The hurt is deep. I can't even pray again.
Same here.
I pray we heal. I doubt that God answers prayer. I am filled with discouragement.
She taught us how to love, and we loved her dearly. Losing someone you love dearly creates a wound that will never heal.
She was special. She was a good mother, who became our friend. She fit into our personalities effortlessly. She inspired and motivated us.
She was so sacrificial, till death. Death really robbed us. We have just ourselves now.
Yes.
Let me go to my room. Good night, sis.
Doubt and discouragement are great hindrances to a powerful prayer life.
Lord, how can I pray when it feels like you are silent? I begged and pleaded with you to save my mother, but despite my cries, I watched helplessly as her life slipped away. How do I trust you again after such pain? How do I believe that you care, or that you even hear my prayers? My heart is heavy with discouragement, and doubt has consumed me.
My dear child, I see your pain, and I understand the depths of your sorrow. I was with you in every tear you shed, and I grieved alongside you. My ways are higher than your ways, and though you cannot see it now, I am working all things together for good. Your mother's passing was not a reflection of my absence or lack of love. In this broken world, death is a reality, but I promise you this, death does not have the final word. Your mother is with me, free from pain and sorrow, and one day, you will be reunited. I know it is hard to trust when you feel hurt and unheard, but I am still here, closer than you realize. I will not leave you or forsake you. Bring your doubts and discouragement to me, and I will give you rest. Trust not in what you see but in who I am, your loving Father. Remember the words of Isaiah 41:10, do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Even now, I am holding you, my beloved. Lean into me, and I will heal your heart.
You spoke to me. God just spoke to me. He is not far from me. God is here with us.
Sarah. We're planning a movie night. You in?
I was actually need some times to myself. Thanks for the offer.
You love movie. I am not expecting a no. Tell me, what is that thing that wants to keep you away?
I need to pray.
You've been praying.
Tolu. I've been trying to focus on God more.
You can do that tomorrow. Don't be boring.
Maybe another time. I really need this time with God.
Sarah dear, you need to join for tonight's movie. Your mind will loosen up a bit on your grief. You need this.
But I also need to pray. I need to have that fellowship with God.
You also need to fellowship with friends too. You can't keep saying no. Are you seriously choosing prayer over fun?
It's not just about prayer. I'm trying to grow closer to God. I've let distractions take over for too long.
You're acting like you're a nun now.
Not a nun. Just someone who wants more out of life than parties and movies. Thanks for understanding.
Distraction is one of the enemy's tools to rob us of the intimacy and power that comes from a consistent prayer life. In a world full of noise, schedules, and endless demands, we must be intentional about guarding our time with God. Prayer requires focus, and we cannot give God our leftovers. Jesus himself modeled this when he withdrew from the crowds to pray in solitude. In Luke 5:16 it says, "But Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed." To avoid distraction, we must set aside dedicated, undisturbed time to seek God. Turn off the phone, step away from the noise, and fix your mind on Him. As Hebrews 12:2 reminds us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. Let us prioritize the secret place and remember that nothing in this world is more valuable than time spent in God's presence. Distractions will come, but when we choose to focus on Him, we invite His peace, power, and guidance into our lives.
Thank you, Paul, for the lift.
It is always my pleasure, Sarah. Anything to ease you in this moment of grief. How's the prayer journey?
Better, but it's hard balancing everything. Before, I was too discouraged to pray. Now I am too busy to pray. The work lost me so exhausted that I only want to sleep when I get home.
That's the enemy's trick, keeping you busy so you neglect what matters most. Your purpose is tied to your prayer life. Protect it like treasure.
It's not that easy.
I know, don't beat yourself up. This isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. Start again. God hasn't gone anywhere.
I'll try. But it's hard.
It is, but you're stronger than you think, Sarah. You've got this.
Thirdly, avoid being so busy that prayer feels like an afterthought. If we prioritize everything else over time with God, we miss the strength, wisdom, and peace that only He can provide. Being too busy to pray is being too busy to stay connected to the source of life. Jesus emphasized the importance of prayer, even in the busiest times of His ministry. In Mark 1:35, it says, "Very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus got up, left the house and went off to a solitary place, where He prayed." If Jesus, who had crowds pressing on Him daily, made prayer a priority, how much more should we? Prayer isn't an interruption. It's the fuel for our daily journey. Let us heed the words of Psalm 46:10, "Be still, and know that I am God." No matter how full your schedule may be, make room for prayer. When we put God first, everything else falls into place.
I used to think prayer was about getting answers, but I've learned it's about knowing Him. The secret place isn't a duty, it's a gift.
How do you stay consistent?
By reminding myself that prayer isn't about perfection. It's about showing up and letting God do the rest.
Our lives will never be the same, but one thing we know is that God still has our best interest at heart.
And that to live is Christ, to die gain. So we will no longer cry as those without hope. We will revive our prayer lives by putting aside doubt and discouragement, all forms of distraction, and we will never be too busy to have time for God.
You were right. Your prayer life is your foundation, your channel to God. Nothing should rob you of that moment with God. Please support us by giving this video a thumbs up, share and subscribe to our channel. God bless you.